Hey guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes. How are you all? Welcome back to all my returners and hi to any newbies. It's so great to have you here. Please do stick around a while. And if you like what you see, give me a thumbie. They are free. So you are back today for this week's episode of Crochet Catch Up. And that is where I catch you up on all of the crochet that I have been doing. However, there is one element of my crocheting this week that I will not be sharing with you today. I wanted to let you know that I did complete it this week, but there is a video scheduled for this later next month and it will be featured then. But I did make something. It is an FO and it did take some of my crochet time. I just cannot share it yet, but when I can, I will let you know. Of course I will. So one FO that you can't see, and 2 whips today. So like I was saying, that FO took precedence over last weekend, and then the rest of the crafting that you're going to see is what I managed to get done in the evenings after work. So the first thing that I'm going to be showing you today is my second spinny wheelie selection that I have on the go. And that is, of course, the Utide Blanket by Tina Thorodottir Thorvalda. I always butcher her name. I'm really sorry. But this is what it looks like. It is a Christmas blanket and it is overlay mosaic. I am not using those colours. If you've been here a while, you will know what colours I am using, but don't fear, I will go through it all with you. And because it's been a little while since I've picked this one up, I had a delay in trying to figure out what hook I was using. I hope I figured it out and I hope I haven't bodged my blanket, but we will see the further we get into it. I'm going to stick to the one that I've now decided I was using. I tried going back in my previous videos where I have featured this, but I never mentioned what hook I was using. So it also gave me a prompt and a kick up the rump to remember when I do these videos, I need to tell you all the materials I'm using in case that situation happens again and I need to find out in the future. So this is a paid for pattern. I believe I got it from Ravelry. I will put a link to the pattern down in the description box. Only purchase if you are able to. I'm not trying to enable you or encourage you to spend beyond your means. If you've never done mosaic, please do not be intimidated. I get that question quite a lot. Is it as complicated as it looks? No, it's just a lot of counting and it's a lot of making sure you're putting your stitches in the right place. So you do need to concentrate, but it's not so intense that you don't enjoy it. I really love overlay mosaic. It's a really, really wonderful technique that I enjoy. And if you can chain, single crochet and double crochet, you are absolutely golden. Honestly, it is not as intimidating as it seems. It's labour intensive, but it's enjoyable labour intensive to me. Now, other people might have different opinions because after all, we are all different. And that is what makes the world go round, right? We don't all want to like the same things. Otherwise, we'll all be doing videos on the same things all the time. So, like I said, this is spinny selection number 2. That is because earlier this year, I had one of those spinny wheels and on each coloured segment, I had a project that I wanted to do this year. And I spun the wheel and let fate decide what I was going to be making from those pre-selected options. Spinny selection number 1 was a monster from the Megan Lapp Crochet Monsters book. I completed that very early on in the year after I started doing this segment. And it is now my work mascot. He's been living on my desk at work for a couple of months now. In fact, because I changed roles and I changed desks, he's had 2 homes at work. But no, he is always with me and he makes me smile. He also gets a lot of attention from other people as well. So spinny selection number 1 was a quick make. This one is going to be a longer make because it is a blanket. However, I have now done 3 of the designs and I think I have 4 designs to go. So I'm nearing the halfway point. So you know, I will get it done as quickly as I can. I did make another decision this year that I'm only going to be working on things that bring me joy. I'm not going to stress or pressure myself. So if I don't get all of the spinny selections done this year, that's okay. They can stay on the board till next year. And yes, it is a Christmas blanket, but Manfa's choices are not traditional Christmas colour choices. Now, the offending hook that I hope is the right one is my 4.5mm dots. I couldn't remember whether it was the 4mm or the 4.5, and I went with the 4.5. I'm thinking it might now actually have been the 4mm because it is doing that a little bit from where it was before, but hopefully when I put the double envelope border on, I can kind of get it to work and be okay. Now, the yarn that I am using, the main colour is this gorgeous baby pink. So already, you know, it is not traditional Christmas colours. I am using these donuts here from Ice Yarns. I have packs upon packs upon packs of these because I was gifted these from my gorgeous Yarny Fairy godmother. She is so super generous to me, and I'm really pleased that I am finally using some of the gorgeous yarns she has sent to me. I have used other yarns that she has gifted, but because I have such a huge quantity of this, it is nice that I am starting to use some of these up. I am currently on donut number 9, so I am powering through these guys. Mike and I actually had a conversation a few days ago. I showed him a silly meme on my phone, and he said that I will never get through my yarn stash in my lifetime. And I agree that I buy yarn quicker than I use yarn, but I can guarantee you that I will use what's been behind me in these videos in my lifetime. If I keep adding to it, then of course the newer stuff may not get used so quick, but I am determined. This is my retirement fund, guys. I am not going to be working full-time forever. I still have many years of full-time working to go because I am only 38. However, I don't think my yarn usage is too low, actually. It's just I can buy it and get gifted it quicker than I'm able to hook it up. But I do try and crochet every single day. Every spare moment I've got for downtime, I choose crochet. And if you look back in the yearly yarn band totals that I've been doing the last couple of years, I do get through quite a bit. And I think because my cubes are always stacked, it looks like I don't use anything. You also, though, cannot see what is behind that front layer. I have literally crammed those cubes so full that I do sometimes wonder if over the years the shelving's just gonna give up. I've also got totes of yarn slightly off view. That end of my yarn unit, they're stacked up. But the majority of my yarn is put away and it is stashed. And I do use quite a bit. I'm just addicted to buying yarn. I have been toying with the idea that unless I come across a really, really good sale that I can't pass up, or yarn that I love is being discontinued, or obviously the gifted stuff, I cannot help what gets sent to me when I am gifted. And if it's something that I really can't live without, only then am I going to be buying it. I have been a bit over the top with my yarn buying for this year. So I'm going to slow it down because it would be interesting for me also to see how quickly I can get through what I've got. But like I said, you can't even see 75% of it, 80% of it, maybe 85% of it. I don't know. But anyway, I've got loads of this and I am on donut number 9 and I've still got quite a way to go in my blanket. I'm not even at the halfway point. So hopefully a lot of these are going to be utilised in this blanket. This is Ice Yarn's Baby Merino DK. Like I said, it's this gorgeous baby pink colour. Let me see what I can find out for you. It is 40% merino wool, 20% polyamide and 40% acrylic. They are 50-gram donuts. There's 100 meters, so about 109 yards a piece. And it's a lightweight 3 or a DK, and they recommend 4 to 5 millimeter knitting needles. There is no crochet hook recommendation. Wash up to 30 degrees Celsius. Do not iron, do not bleach. Yeah, and that's all Ice Yarns gives you, but it is really nice and soft. I wouldn't say that it's like buttery, silky soft, but it is in no way toothy or rough or itchy. It's a nice softness, and I reckon once the blanket's been washed, it will be even more snuggly. With the merino in there and the acrylic, it's going to be pretty hard wearing. It's going to stand the test of time, hopefully, because they are a lot of work, these mosaics, but they are so worth it because they are gorgeous. And that polyamide does help take the woolliness out of it because it's not super wash. But I really love it. I have no issues working with it at all. So that is my main colour. Now, the other colour, which is what the pictures form in, I am using this from the Knitting Network. I bought 10 of these cakes at the beginning of the year because there was a ridiculously good cake sale from the Knitting Network. I will put a link to the Knitting Network website down below. They do ship internationally. This is the Sunflower Yarn Spectrum DK. They are 100 grams, approximately 360 meters or 394 yards, 100% acrylic, made in Turkey, 4 millimeter needles, no hook. Machine wash up to 30 degrees Celsius. Do not iron, do not tumble, do not bleach. But it's acrylic, guys. I'm going to be throwing this in the washing machine. I don't tumble dry my crocheted items, though. I do lay flat to dry on all of my crochet makes. This is in the colour 005 or Aquarius, and in true Manfa fashion, it is a gorgeous rainbow. Now, my camera always washes this out. This is so much more vibrant and vivid in real life, and it is a purple, not a dark blue. I don't know whether you're seeing that there. This is obviously a full cake. I am on, so I said donut number 9 and cake number 2. So I'm not going to need as many cakes as I am donuts, but that is okay. Originally, I bought this to make a floor length duster cardigan. That may still be possible depending on how many of these I use. And if I do decide to make that project, I'll just get more if I need it. I know I've just said that I want to cut down on my yarn buying, but if it's to finish a project and to get more of my stash gone, then I am prepared to do so. So I'm not saying there's not going to be any more yarn hauls. There probably will be. I'm just trying to be a little bit more selective at the minute on the sales that I partake in and how many hauls I'm doing, because I'm literally bursting at the seams here in yarn. The Knitting Network are buggers for that because they send you emails daily of different sales and things that they've got going on. But you know I'm a sucker for mystery bags and mystery boxes, and they have been doing those a lot over the last couple of months, and I have not bought into them at all. So I am trying to be good. So the last time we left off in that blanket, and I've got this folded in 4. I will show you the whole thing in a minute, but I want to show you where we got last time, which is where this stitch marker is here. So we did manage to finish the Christmas trees. I managed to finish the stars, and I had just started the new design. And I told you last time that I'm not going to tell you what the new design is until I had got a bit further on. Well, I've actually finished the 3rd design. So you've got design 1, design 2, and I have now completed the 3rd design. Would you like to see what it is? It's hearts, guys, look! Rainbow hearts. What could be prettier in a border of pink? This is so Manfa. It is painful to behold how Manfa this is. So there we go. That is how far we have gotten. So from the stitch marker all the way up to here is everything that I have done this week. So that is quite a hefty chunk of blanket in 1 week. The way the mosaic works is you tie on the right hand side of your work and you stitch all the way across to the left and you snip every single row. That is why there are all these tails on the sides. But don't panic, I'm not going to have to weave in all of those bajillion ends because the double envelope border sandwiches those tails inside. You do one border on the back in the back loop, and then you do a border on the front in the front loop, and you sandwich all of these in between and then put, you know, crochet the two borders together. It makes an envelope, or, you know, it sandwiches all of this inside. So the double envelope border is the most painful part of a mosaic blanket, in my opinion. I don't enjoy it. It's a little bit soul destroying for Manfa. Other people may love it. It's a bit soul destroying for me, but it's so worth it because I would rather go through the pain of a double envelope border than sew in all of those tails, because every single row you leave a tail on both ends. That is just no thank you. So as you can see, the back is flat. There's no exposed loops for fingers or toes to get caught in. It's actually really pretty. You can actually see how the colour has, you know, flown as the cakes have gone by. I have not colour controlled this project. As soon as the cakes run out, I've just joined the next one in. If the stripe that I'm on doesn't get all the way to the end, I just carry on. So there are breaks, but this is just for me. This is my Christmas blanket that I'm making for myself. So of course the hearts are all the same across the top. But yes, pretty much the whole, apart from these few rows here, that's all I got done. I pretty much did the whole heart motif in 1 week. So I did hyper focus on this project this week. Starting from this side, see, I can't even fit it in with the 3 designs, but there are different stars which we've already gone over. There are different Christmas trees. It is absolutely gorgeous. I'm loving it. And I now have some gorgeous rainbow hearts in my blanket. Now I have looked ahead. The next design that is going in is a snowflake, and there is only one design of snowflake. So it will be like the hearts. It will be the same snowflake all the way across. And I have done 5 of the motifs wide. So it's not as big as my wingspan, but it's definitely enough to cover me, as you can see. And hopefully it will be long enough to be a decent sized blanket. We still have 4 motifs to go in, and I can barely fit the 3 motifs on screen now. So I think it will be a really nice sized blanket when it is done. Might be more of a lap gown, but that's okay. It's only for me. So yes, lots of progress on that one this week. I had been feeling that I had neglected this project a little bit. And if I'm going to get any more of my spinny selections done this year, I obviously need to put work in and I need to make progress. So that is exactly what I did. So I don't know when I'm next going to pick that up and work on it. I don't have... so like some people I watch, they pick a project for each day. And they will just show whatever work they've managed to put on each. Some people have a rotation where they concentrate on a few of their whips 1 week, a few of their whips another week. I'm just picking stuff up as and when I feel like it's time to work on, or I fancy working on it. Or like this week, because I enjoy it, I did fancy working on it, but also, like I said, I felt like I hadn't put any love in it for a couple of weeks, so it was a bit neglected. I am thinking on how I can change how I work on my projects so that I get more progress done on more things more regularly. But I also don't want to fall into that trap again of having specific things on specific days and a certain amount of progress has to be made for me to feel like I'm achieving something. I made the promise to myself that I wasn't going to put too much stress and pressure on myself. So I just want to tweak it a little bit. I really don't quite know how I'm going to do that yet. But with the next project I'm going to show you, I have made a decision about that one, which I'll explain in just a second. So yes, Yuletide, I will put the pattern link in the description box. And if you're not familiar with Tina and her tutorials and her patterns, I will put a link to her YouTube channel in my description box. And go and check out her stuff on Ravelry. Honestly, guys, it is all absolutely stunning. I did actually see a Facebook post where somebody had taken this heart motif and just done a whole blanket of those hearts. And it was absolutely gorgeous. And one day I might be tempted to do exactly that. But for the minute, I'm just going to get the Yuletide done. And move on to other spinny selections. But there might be more mosaic in my near future. Who knows? Like I said, I'm just going to do what I want when I want. So the only other thing I've got to speak to you about today is my Manfella Mau's project. Manfella Mau's is a collaboration between myself and Christina over at Bella Uncinetto. Again, if you're not familiar with my gorgeous yarny friend, please do go and make yourself familiar with her. She is absolutely a wonderful person. I love her with all my heart. And we had, well, all of us crafters probably have a to-do list as long as the equator, right? We wanted to do another collaboration together, but we didn't want to do something specific like Manfella versus, you know, all of those collaborations we've done in the past where we both make the same thing and that same specific thing. We again wanted a less stressful, less pressured collaboration, but we did need to agree on a few things that we wanted to achieve. And the way we did it is we came up with 4 items. They were to make something from our Label Our Library series that we do. So we are actually going to make something that we've labelled in our library. The Asteria doily, that's the only project that is a specific project. But we both have the pattern and we've both wanted to make it for quite a while. And we did toy with doing a collaboration in making that earlier in our YouTube adventure. It just never happened. So that is our only specific project, because the Label My Library, me and Christina have a lot of similar books, but we also have different books, and we could pick whatever item we'd labelled when that cropped up for us. We didn't, you know, specifically have to do the same thing, and we both have different preferences of what we want to get done in our books. And then we also decided that we were going to use our subscription yarn, because I have a subscription to Puff Flower currently. She used to have a subscription to Lethaco, and she wanted to use up some of her subscription yarn because either she had only used a bit of it or she hadn't used it yet and she wanted to actually use it. And I hadn't used any of my Puff Flowers, so I agreed that, yep, a subscription yarn project sounded good. But again, we can make whatever we want with our subscription yarn. It's just the subscription yarn that is the must-have in that item. And then the last one was we agreed to make a cushion cover for each other. So whatever cushion cover I make will be gifted to Christina, and whatever cushion cover Christina makes will be gifted to me. And she is currently actually working on that project. So I have avoided the videos where that has been shown because I would like a surprise when it eventually reaches me. And that will be her choice when I get selected to do that. So my first Manfella Mau's project was the Asteria doily. I have got that one done and dusted and attached to a hoop, and it's been adorning my walls now for a few weeks, and I still love it. I still think it's stunning, and I'm still proud of it every time I look at it. And I'm looking over there because it is on the wall behind the camera, but you can't see. There is a short on my channel that shows it hanging on the wall on the hoop. And then my second project, which is this one, is my subscription yarn project. Christina has done her label, her library project, and she is on the cushion cover for me. So actually, between us, we have done all 4 selected items. I've done 2 of them and she's done 2 of them. And another twist that we put on it is we put those projects into envelopes. Sealed them up, didn't label the envelopes, it was just a blank envelope, and we gave them to our kids. So I gave the envelopes to Max and she gave the envelopes to her daughter Sparkle. Sparkle is her YouTube name, it's not her real name. So Sparkle picks the make for me and Max picks the make for Christina. So me and Christina have no idea and no control in what order these projects get picked for us. So that makes it a little bit more exciting as well. And it also gets the kiddos involved, which is always super lovely. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing what Christina's done, head over there. Like I said, her channel link is down in the description box. And I am working on my subscription yarn. Now, last month, when I opened up my subscription yarn, I got the April cake. It's the mega yarn cakes from Puff Flower. I will put a link to the website down below. She does ship internationally. And the cake that I'm featuring today is for sale on her website should you wish to partake in them. But she gave me the April cake that I had paid for in my subscription, which was the spring bunnies, which the eagle-eyed of you this week, not this week that you're watching, but the week that's just happened actually, will have seen that when I showed that spring bunnies, there was one of our lovely yarny friends that commented saying, "Oh my goodness, that spring bunny cake is absolutely gorgeous. Totally my wheelhouse of colours. Some of my faves. I love it. You're so lucky. Thank you for sharing it with us." And it was that person's birthday a couple of weeks ago. So in good old Manfa style, I instantly knew that I needed to send it to her for her birthday. She showed that video last week, and I am, of course, talking about Missy from Missy's Yarniverse and more. So the Spring Bunnies Puff Flower Mega Cake is no longer in my possession. It does not belong to me anymore. It now belongs to Missy. And if you do get a chance to watch that video, it is a super lovely video. I'm not doing it or not asking you to watch it to make me out to be such a lovely person. That's not what I mean. But Missy's reaction to opening that mega cake was just everything to me. If you need to have a better understanding of how much Happy Mail means to us podcasters, Missy's video encapsulates that perfectly, because even though Missy feels a little bit embarrassed as to how emotional she got in that video, it truly does capture your feelings when you do open Happy Mail as a podcaster. There aren't the right words to describe how you feel, and sometimes those feelings come out of your face in the form of tears. So Missy does cry, and she does try and explain how thankful she is. But me watching that video wasn't to get kind of self-glory for, you know, being generous or anything like that. I gifted it out of love. I am a gifter naturally. I much prefer buying presents for other people. In fact, in my real life, I am actually quite a bad gift receiver, because not a lot of people in my real life get it right for me. In fact, you guys that send me Happy Mail get it right for me every time, but my real family and friends don't always. Mike will be able to tell you some of the disastrous presents he's got me over the years and how he's felt like, you know, he's got it wrong and it upsets him that I appear a little bit ungrateful and a little bit less welcoming to his thoughtful gift that he's bought me that I really don't like. It's yeah, now he works off of my Amazon wish list mostly, or he will demand that I give him specific things that I want so that he can get it right and he can get the reaction from the gifts he gives me like you guys get from giving me Happy Mail. But it's not that I'm ungrateful, it's just I don't like to think that somebody's wasted their time, effort and money and bought something that I'm really not going to use or I don't like enough. Yeah, it's a bit of a touchy subject in my real life, but I've never felt that way about any Happy Mail I've been given. But yeah, Missy's reaction to getting that puff flower cake was just wonderful. I even shed a tear with her and it was me that gave her it. It's bizarre. It's really crazy. I really don't care at all that I don't have that cake anymore because it needed to go and live with Missy. Just by her reaction, I knew that that puff flower had gone to the right place and would be appreciated and loved on quite hard. And again, in the video, you will see her love on that cake quite hard. But Missy, on a side note, I really did love that video and you are more than welcome. I would never give anything away if I didn't want to, and I really wanted to gift it to you, and I'm so glad that it had the desired effect and you felt my love from all these thousands of miles away. So yeah, go and check out that video if you want a real feel-good vibe from content. But with the spring bunny cake that now lives with Missy was a surprise mega yarn cake that I hadn't paid for, I hadn't ordered, I didn't know anything about until I received an email from them saying that they had included a birthday gift for me. And the story behind this cake is, for the March cake, I was saying that it was probably going to be greens for St. Patrick's Day. That's where my brain would have gone. It actually turned out not to be anything to do with St. Patrick's Day, and it was a gorgeous cake in the theme of crocuses. But when I was talking about what yarn it could be, I told you all a story about inspiration that hit me on the drive home from dropping Max. I think I dropped Max to football or something. I can't remember. I had run an errand and dropped a child somewhere, and I think it was Max. And I was driving home and I was like, oh my gosh, wouldn't it be lovely to have a cake in colours that signified a pot of gold under a rainbow? And then I described that I had this vision in my head of a C2C blanket where the bottom corner of the blanket was black for the pot, and then above the pot was the glittering gold that would be in that pot under the rainbow, and then obviously above that would be a gorgeous striped rainbow in the rest of the blanket. And I didn't think anyone paid much attention to it. It was just a story that I told and an idea that I had had. But lo and behold, with the spring bunny cake was that very colourway yarn inspiration that I had had sat in that box that she had made specifically for me for that idea and gifted it to me for free. Again, you can buy that cake on her website currently. And I'm still blown away that she even did that for me. It was incredible. But yes, it was one of the big, huge cakes with black in the centre and then gold and then the rainbow stripes. So this is what I have left of it at the moment. It's starting to collapse and, you know, do its thing because it was an absolutely ginormous cake. As you can see, it's as big as my head. That is what I've currently got left because when I showed this to you last week, just quickly, I'm using my 5mm dots for this one. When I showed you last week, I had done the pot and I was starting in the glittery gold bit. I have put some work on this one, I can tell you. And at the time of filming, I'm actually filming last Saturday, and I had only worked on it for a couple of hours last night, the Friday night, and a couple of hours this morning in bed, and I managed to get quite a bit done. I think I got 21 rows in, which is quite incredible considering I had only put a little bit of time into this week. And what I was saying about I'm going to change how I show this from this point on. I'm going to show you today, but if I work on this, you know, as we go forward, I'm not going to show it in my crochet catch-ups. I have a specific video scheduled for next month for a Manfella Mau's 2 catch-up. So I want there to be a bit of time before that video's due where I can work on it, get more progress in it from what you see today for that video to show that I had gone on from this point. But yeah, I got quite a bit in, guys. So where's my stitch marker? You're getting sneak peeks because it's getting huge. So last time I showed you, I was here where this blue stitch marker is. So I'd gotten the black pot in, like I said, and I had got this far into the gold. Well, I finished the gold, guys, and I've started the beautiful rainbow stripes. Now, again, my camera is rubbish. It doesn't show you the colours accurately at all. But there is this dark purple stripe, this beautiful purple stripe. This is looking red on camera, but it's not. It is a fuchsia-y, magenta-y pink. It's a darker bright pink, if that makes sense. And then this is like bubblegum Barbie, almost neon pink. It is absolutely gorgeous. So the stripes are now forming. And I cannot get all of it on screen. So, you know, we are quite a ways along. Now, I have been colour controlling this a bit. When I get to the end of a row, I look at what I've got left in that bit of the colour that I'm on to see if I'll get all the way across again. And if not, I am snipping it off. So I do have some tiny, tiny, tiny little scrap balls to show you. I did have a bit of black left from the pot. I've used that to embroider faces on things. This is all I had left of the gold, so I didn't waste an awful lot of the gold. The darker purple, I only had this, so I didn't waste a lot of that one either. The lighter purple is a little bit of a bigger scrap. I'm going to see if I can get a pair of crocheted hearts for charity out of that. I'm not sure that I will, but I will try. And then the darker pink, I have this. And again, I'll see if I can get a pair of crocheted hearts out of it. But if not, I will use it for something else. Now, I do not have a scrap of this bright pink. And I'm in a little bit of a pickle. The OCD in me, guys, wants to frog back the last row that I've done because I ran out of pink in that last C2C cluster. So I've got one random orange cluster to finish this row. And it seems like a lot of effort to rip back that row just to get that one to be pink. But I did colour control it so that it did finish, you know, cleanly on that colour. Is that really going to make much of a difference? I think I might live on the wild side and just leave it because it's just one cluster. This blanket is just for me. And I need to let go of control a little bit, don't I? The only reason why I colour controlled it and had these little bits left is I just didn't want the jagged, harsh breaks throughout the blanket. I wanted the stripes to be full stripes to get the proper rainbow effect. But I think this little tiny blob here isn't really going to matter because it's right at the edge. So yeah, I think I've talked myself into leaving it. So I do have yarn tails to weave in, but that's okay. Most people would have just let the colours flow and it not bother them, so they didn't have ends, because of course Puff Flower has hand tied this cake anyway. And Puff Flower, if you're watching, I'm sorry if that kind of defeats the object of what you've done, but my OCD got the better of me. So I still have, the next colour is obviously this gorgeous orange. Okay, so we've got that orange, we've got a yellow, we've got a green, we've got more of the dark purple and more of the lighter purple. I haven't made an awful lot of C2C blankets, guys. I don't know when I need to stop increasing and start decreasing. And I have heard that you use more yarn on the decreasing than you do the increasing, which baffles my brain because that doesn't sound like it's correct. But I'm trusting you. So at what point do I know when to stop and start decreasing? I didn't know whether I should weigh this and see if I'm kind of at the halfway point to figure it out. How would you guys work out when to start decreasing? Because I don't want a big scrap ball left of this. These are tiny, tiny little pieces. It really isn't a lot. I don't want a big chunk of scrap. I want to use as much of this cake in this blanket as I can. And it would be perfect if I got to the last cluster and I only had like this left. That would have been perfect. But I don't know how to judge it. All of you seasoned crocheters out there, I mean, I've been doing it 10 years. I wouldn't say I'm a newbie at all, but C2Cs are not something that I make regularly, and I haven't quite understood the science behind that. So those of you that have made a ton of C2Cs or know the trick, please tell me down in the comments when I should stop and start decreasing so that I can use the majority of this without wasting any, or go too far and not have enough to complete and have to rip it back and do that half again, because that would be a nightmare as well. But yes, Puff Flower made the colourway of my dreams, and I am now putting that dream into actuality. That pot of gold under a rainbow C2C blanket is well underway. So I will link Puff Flower's YouTube in the description box. I will link the website where you can go and peruse these absolutely stunning mega yarn cakes. A lot of you have commented saying they're out of your price range. I totally get it. Again, I'm not trying to enable you, and I am not sponsored or affiliated. That was a gift from Puff Flower's heart. It wasn't something that, you know, I wasn't paid to show it. I'm not paid to show my subscriptions in any way. I pay my own money for my subscription. They deliver the cake that I have paid for. There is no affiliation. There is no sponsorship. There is no collaboration there. Although she is now keeping an eye on my channel and watching my videos. So, hey! But I'm just a happy customer that shouts from the rooftops how marvellous her product is, and she's the maker of the product and likes hearing good things being said about her stuff, right? That's how it works. That's the only partnership that's going on here, I promise you. But yes, my pot of gold under a rainbow is really, really starting to take shape now. Yeah, so what do you think? That is quite a bit of progress, even if I do say so myself. C2Cs are so quick to make up as well, guys. I love them. I love them as much as my granny square blankets, I'm not going to lie. So yeah, 2 blankets that are for me. This is a very self-indulgent crochet catch-up this week. But the FO that I cannot show you yet is going to be a gift for somebody else. So that kind of balances it a little bit, hopefully. But a lot of rainbows that you've seen today, guys. But that is Manfa. I love my pink. I love my sparkles. I love my pink. I love my sparkles. And I love my rainbows. So there we have it. That is all of the crocheting that I have been up to this week. I have no clue what I'm going to get done to show you next week. You're going to have to tune in next week to find out. Please do check the links on the channels and things that I put in the description box. You may just stumble upon somebody or something that you really want in your life, and it always does give us a boost when we get new yarny friends in our homes visiting us. It really is wonderful. Yeah, I think that is it. I've kept you for nearly 45 minutes, so now it's just hit 45 minutes. I really do think I should let you get going. Another weekend coming up. I hope it is a good one for you all. No plans for me. I can never tell you my weekend plans in these videos because, like I said, I'm filming this last weekend on the Saturday. So I'm actually on my weekend of last week. So I have no clue what's coming in a week's time. But for you, it's only in a day's time. So I can never give you weekend plans. It's just the way I have to do the filming and content for this channel. I need to batch record and schedule them out. It's just the way it works for me. So no plans for me at all this current weekend that I'm filming. I've got one more video to film for you for this week that by this time you will have already seen. But I haven't filmed it yet in my time in recording. And then tomorrow I think it will just be catch up on a few jobs and chores and bits and bobs and have a nice quiet non-crazy Sunday before another week of work. That's literally all I can tell you. Anyway, guys, like I said, I'll let you get going. Thank you so much for being here today. I really do appreciate your time. I will, of course, be back all of next week for more content for you to see. And we'll speak then. But until then, stay safe, be kind, look after one another, get some good quality time in with your loved ones, and get some good quality crafting time in. I will see you in the next one or around the YouTube streets. Bye, guys. Love you loads.